Hi guys, in this video we are going to discuss the environment reports of last 1 year, the global indices and the international assessment, the major environmental reports of last 1 year, which is relevant for this year exam. So this is important for your ecology, environment and climate change area. So if you're getting around 15, 16 questions from that area, out of which 4, 5 directly comes from this particular topic and many more will indirectly link to all these areas like climate change, biodiversity, pollution, resilience and the sustainability part and the reports and the indices and all these, right? But the problem is, I've seen that my mentees also and students, they used to mug up reports without understanding them, and they confuse the publishing bodies also, right? And then they used to ask UPSC, even ask the publishing bodies also, and they don't connect global, national, state level data, and they fall into UPSC's traps every single year. So this is what I have seen. So let's try to overcome these and let's try to understand. This lecture, if you see, this is not just a list. So this is actually a framework. It's a mental map is what I'm going to give. So I'm sure after this session, even if these guys UPSC creates tricky questions, you'll be able to decode it effortlessly. And I'll try to give you some MCQs also. Normally, I used to do that in the mock test, but here I'll try to, if we have time, we'll do that. Okay. So why UPSC love reports? You look at the patterns, and we need to discuss the pattern. We need to look at the logic and the traps. They ask reports based on, you know, like whatever is the recent ones. Mostly the context should be there, right? So they ask report-based questions for 4 reasons. Firstly, report shows global governance, and reports provide ready-made data for the mains, and reports separate serious aspirants from the casual ones, because not everyone will go through that, not everyone will remember, and UPSC uses simple tricks to mislead you also. Here it is very easy. I'll come to that trick and traps and everything. So why this is showing global governance? Anything which is involving UN, UNEP, UNFCCC, WMO, SDSN, IPCC is UPSC gold. So you can expect a question, and the probability is increasing actually. And the report provide ready-made data for your mains. You can easily quote from these also. So you'll be seeing certain lines like India is the largest methane emitter after China and USA. Like this is global methane assessment by UNEP, and adaptation finance is 5x lower than required. UNEP adaptation gap report. So these are things which you can quote directly in your mains also from these reports. So these look very powerful if you are able to quote this, right? Now, why this is again very important, why reports is important, because that definitely separate the serious aspirants from the casual ones. Not everyone is going to read and understand and remember or retain this, and they can trick you by using questions from the reports. They can mislead you. The traps normally what I have seen when it comes to reports is they swap the publishing body. For example, they'll say UNFCCC releases emission gap report. It's wrong. It's UNEP. Always remember that. Okay. So emissions, it's UNEP. Adaptation, it's UNEP. Production, SCI plus IASD plus its partners. So they can confuse you. They can swap the publishing body, and that's one trap. Now, the next trap that I have seen, now, once you understood this logic and the mistakes that you can make and the trap that they set, then it is going to be very easy for you. So the second trap that I've seen is they give outdated data mixed with the new one. So again, you'll get confused. And the next trap that I've seen is they add random Indian ministry name. So again, you'll get confused. And then they also use tempting words like global index by NITI Aayog, right? And then again, these are traps. So another one which I've seen is they use unofficial reports, right? Like, see, remember always, unofficial reports UPSC will never ask. But if you get such kind of things in your options, ignore it. That's what we need to do, right? So these are the traps that they can ask you. So we will see how you can eliminate all these traps permanently, and I'll try to focus on that part also. Now, see, the heart of the report-based question is, in fact, we begin with the global sustainable development goal architecture, because that SDG ecosystem, global, national, state level, this is something which you need to understand. So heart of all these report-based questions will be related to SDG, because everything is covered over there, right? Right. Okay. So let's start with the Sustainable Development Report. So the global SDG report. Now, who's publishing this? SDSN, Sustainable Development Solutions Network, plus Bertelsmann, stiff tongue. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but you know that. So once you see the option, you should be in a position to, take it. So remember, it's not UN, and this is UPSC's favorite trick. Now, what is the purpose of it? They rank all countries on the basis of sustainable development goal achievement or progress performance. So the key points, if you need to remember, who will be usually at the top? Finland, Sweden, Denmark, they usually top. And India typically rank around 110 to 120 or 112 to 120. That is the band. And the weak areas, Sustainable Development Goal 2, 3, 13, 14, 15. I'll come to that. And remember the years also. So SDR is equal to global ranking, right? And not to be confused with India's Sustainable Development Goal Index. So let's look at SDG India Index. That's the national level. So I told you global level, national level, state level. So SDG India Index, who is the publisher? It is NITI Aayog. So previously I was talking about which one? Sustainable Development Report, right? SDR. So that is SDSN. So that is the global ranking. So SDR, the Sustainable Development Report at the global Sustainable Development Report. So we need to discuss at multiple levels also. That's the Sustainable Development Goal ecosystem. So at the global level, it is SDSN, not UNEP or UN. Okay, don't be confused with that also. So Sustainable Development Report, that's the global ranking, and not to be confused with India's SDG index. India's SDG India index is national level. So that is published by NITI Aayog. So I hope that confusion is over. What is the purpose of it? That basically maps sustainable development goal progress across the states and union territories. Now the pattern that you need to remember here is Kerala almost always tops this. Bihar, Jharkhand often will be at the bottom. And, this is basically designed using 100 plus indicators. So the mnemonic that you can remember is Kerala is the king of SDGs, okay? Or something like that. So Kerala usually top it, just like I've told you, Denmark, Sweden, Finland. So when it comes to within India, this is always whether it is health related or education related, even to an extent environment related, Kerala mostly top. Okay. Now, NIF, National Indicator Framework, that's the raw data. So who is the publisher? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MoSPI. This is not an index. This is the official indicator list. So that basically India reports to the UN. Now here the flow is like this: NIF, National Indicator Framework, Sustainable Development Goal India Index, India's reporting to UN, and that appears in the Sustainable Development Report. So this is how, so this is a pipeline that you need to remember. So what UPSC often asks is, who compile India's official Sustainable Development Goal indicators? Answer is MoSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So that's what you need to remember. How? Through NIF, right? So National Indicator Framework. Then Sustainable Development Goal India Index, and then India report to UN based on that, and that will be appeared in the Sustainable Development Report. Cool. So that's understood. Now, next section that we need to discuss is, again, most important, the big climate reports block, right? So these are the reports that are the engine of UPSC questions. So like UNEP, the first one, UNEP Emissions Gap Report, this is most important one. So who is the publisher here? UNEP, right? United Nations Environment Program. So what is the purpose? That shows the gap between the current emission and the emission required to keep warming under 1.5 degrees Celsius or 2 degrees Celsius. So the gap between the current emission and versus the emission required to keep the warming at under 1.5 or 2 degrees Celsius. So what are the key findings? The latest pattern, if you see, world heading, world is basically moving towards or heading towards 2.5 degrees Celsius to 2.9 degrees Celsius warming. And the top emitters, if you see, China, US, and India. So the fossil CO2 that reached at record highs, methane reduction is the fastest level, and no country is on track for that 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now, see, whenever you see gap report, it is UNEP unless otherwise stated. Okay, so gap report, always remember UNEP and these important findings also. If you can remember, that will be good. I'll be adding this in the current affair magazine and the current affair question also, you'll be getting this. Now coming to the next one, adaptation gap report. Again, UNEP. So what is the purpose? Purpose is to measure adaptation finance technology readiness. So the key points here that you need to remember is adaptation finance needs, in fact, are 10 to 18 times higher than the current flows. So whatever is existing or going on now, around 16 to 18, almost 20 times higher is actually the requirement. And highest climate vulnerability, if you see, that's normally South Asia and Africa. Now, what are the barriers? Barriers are mainly adaptation barriers are finance, of course, and I told you already 20 times less now. So finance, governance, technology, and this again can be asked in essay, GS2, GS3, all these areas it is connected. Okay. Next is a production gap report. So who's the publisher? Right. This is again very critical. Go through that. So the Stockholm Environment Institute, SEI, IASD, ODI, UNEP, they support, and then various climate analytics also. Now, what's the key message? The countries plan to produce 110% more, coal, oil, and gas, than which is consistent with this 1.5 degrees Celsius trajectory. Next is Global Carbon Project or the Global Carbon Budget. Who's the publisher? GCP, the research consortium. What are the key findings? India's emission grew fastest among G20 and fossil CO2 hit new records. Carbon sinks are weakening and land use emissions remain high. So see, when we see this carbon, right? So this is carbon project connected to GCP. And when you see gap connected with, UNEP, right? Gap report. So carbon, you connect it with GCP, okay? Global Carbon Project. So now, next is, I have some issue with this sneezing now, I don't know. Next is WMO Greenhouse Gas Bulletin. So who's the publisher? WM, right? World Meteorological Organization. So the key findings, CO2, methane, CH4, N2O, all at record highs, and methane is rising fastest. Atmospheric carbon dioxide, CO2 is now more than 420 ppm. UPSC love this, okay? Remember that. Again, Indian environmental statistics, these reports are unique to India. Go through that. And then, environmental accounting for of forest. So environmental accounting of forest, that's by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MoSPI, and using UNFCCC framework also. So what does it do actually is, that measures ecosystem services and, it evaluates the forest in monetary terms. And then they track the carbon stock, the timber stock, the soil retention, and link the forest to GDP like accounting. So always remember again, UNFCCC is like natural capital accounting framework. Okay, so environmental accounting of forest. Next one, ENV-STAT report. So that's the environmental statistics, which is again published by MoSPI, and that basically contain the water usage, waste generation, emission trends, energy consumption, land degradation. And this is India's official environmental statistical digest. Now coming to the next one, let's also now get into water, drought, and soil-based reports. UPSC has been picking water reports very frequently, so very important. First one, OECD Global Drought Outlook. So the key OECD, okay? So the key points, soil moisture declining globally, dry days increasing in South Asia, and the risk of food insecurity is rising, and non-linear drought pattern emerging due to the climate change which is happening. Next one in this category is aquifer and the groundwater report. So it was often linked to the FAO Aquastat, right? And the World Bank and India specific CGWB reports also. So the theme here is India is the world's largest groundwater extractor, and the rapid depletion in northwest India, and South India is facing hard rock aquifer stress also. Now coming to the next section, that is biodiversity and conservation report. Again, very important, the IUCN World Heritage Outlook report. Who's the publisher? IUCN. So it basically tracked the conservation status of UNESCO natural sites, and India's important sites you need to remember: Kaziranga, Manas, Sundarbans, and then the Western Ghats. The typical observation is Kaziranga is improving, Sundarbans, threatened by sea level rise, and the Western Ghats are under pressure from mining and fragmentation. And you see, these are UPSC favorite question: which Indian sites show significant concern? Like this, they will ask you. So which among the following, you'll get option also. Now, the next is the comparison tables, which is again very important for prelims. You need to memorize the table because if you can do that, there is no guesswork there. It'll basically eliminate 90% of the confusion if you can memorize it. Mainly UN reports, right? This emission gap, adaptation gap, gap is UNEP. Emission gap, adaptation gap, global environment outlook, production gap. So gap, UNEP, right? Production gap as a partner. And next is UNFCCC. So this NDC synthesis report, COP outcome documents, and synthesis report for GST, global, stock take, right? So that's UNFCCC. Then WMO, greenhouse gas bulletin, state of global climate report. Then IPCC, the assessment reports, the special reports, the synthesis reports. IUCN, the red list, the World Heritage Outlook. Then NITI Aayog, Sustainable Development India Index, Sustainable Development Goal, SDG India Index, EPI India, State of Water Index. Now, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MoSPI, NIF, and ENV-STAT, ENV-STAT, and then the forest accounting. Now, how can you remember? See this UNEP reports, you can just remember EAP, emission gap, adaptation gap, production gap as partner, or UNEP is connected with gap, right? Instead of that mnemonic. Now, how to remember the difference between Sustainable Development Goal Report? SDSN, that is a scorecard. NITI, that's the state ranking. NIF is the indicator dictionary. So NIF is by MoSPI, okay? And then NITI, that is a state-wise ranking, and SDSN, that is a scorecard. So remember that. Now, how to remember the climatic bodies? IPCC is connected with the science, UNFCCC is connected with negotiation, UNEP is connected with the action. That's the way. IPCC is the science, UNFCCC, negotiation, UNEP, the action. Now, there are previous year questions. If I take that, it's going to take a lot of time. They'll ask you I'll tell you the patterns, right? The PYQ patterns. The body and report mismatch. One standard pattern. The purpose of report, the country rankings, and India specific trends and climate finance numbers. And, if I want to give mains line, see, there should be something like this. According to UNEP's emission gap report, current global commitments lead to 2.5 degrees Celsius to 2.9 degrees Celsius warming, and that is placing India in a climate locked world where adaptation needs may rise tenfold. This is a statement which you can get from that report, and if you get something like this in your answer, this is one of the line which you can write in your mains answer. So that's the reason why you need to go through the reports, and it's very much helpful and useful. Now, how to use these reports in your answers? You can directly use in your GS3, climate change environment, GS2 also, sustainable development goal, governance, essay if you get sustainable development themes. In fact, one of my approach of writing essays is based on or connecting with sustainable development report. That's why I told you to go with this. It's very important. For example, you can write something like this: India's groundwater extraction, the highest globally, right? That is according to FAO ENV-STAT, and that is highlighting the paradox between development imperatives and the ecological limits. So see, students often ask me, sir, do we really need to remember all these reports? My answer is simple, yes, because these reports tell you how the world is changing. So UPSC is not basically testing your memory, it is testing whether you understood or you can understand the world you want to administer. So every report is basically a mirror. Some mirrors, they show the progress, some show the crisis, some show some kind of injustices, and some show the hope also. But all of them show some kind of reality. And, of course, as a future IAS officer, your job is to see the reality clearly without any filters. And that clarity is what matters. And that clarity starting from here, from these reports, these facts, and these data. So study these reports very well and code them in your mains answers. That will give more validity to your answers, and use them intelligently. Because if you are writing, one of the way in which you'll be writing your essays with the sustainable development goal approach, in that also you can easily code and watch how you see your score is going to improve. So that's about the session. Thank you so much. I hope you got some value from this. If you're looking for any classes, test series, mentorship, get in touch with us. See you there.